voice of the next generation.
This week was King's Day, right?
It was. What did you do?
King's Day was interesting for me. Yeah, I managed to spend some time with some close friends. So, yeah, that was fun. That was unusual. I actually went to the lake. We went to the lakeside, just in there all day, pretty much. Quite packed. Like, people were there a lot because the sun was out.
Right.
But other than that, I've heard Amsterdam was busy.
Oh man!
But I wasn't in Amsterdam. I left Amsterdam actually that morning. So by the time I had gotten back during, let's say, curfew time, it was quite down. But yeah,
people didn't care.
Yeah, something like that.
People didn't care at all.
Where were you?
I was inside, man. I was inside in the. I didn't go anywhere. In the evening, I did, host a particular international seminar, which is called #Imagine Nelson Mandela.
Okay.
Had the opportunity to interact with, just say, like-minded global Africans and friends. This was for Sam Magazine. About the legacy of Mandela, what it means for us in this current day, and are we living in that society that he strived for? So that was more
interesting
on a serious note, but it was really interesting.
On King's Day?
It was, yeah. Wow. King's Day evening, man. You know what? With King's Day, I always have to feel like you have to do something celebratory. Yeah, and going outside, it just felt a bit rushed because people were excited.
Yep.
For this 28th of April, no boundaries. No. And then you just see people going out for nonsense. I remember even talking to somebody about that King's Day. He was like, you know what? I was looking for trouble because I just love the rush of it. So he explained that he went to Fundo Park, you know what I mean? Oh, yeah. And there were some gates that were just still open, they were just partying up until police came. So until police showed their limits, they were just doing their thing.
They were doing, oh my God. Yeah, that's not so, that's not advice at all.
It's not.
It's bad,
not.
Actually. It's bad.
So the psychology of it is people are done with COVID, but the reality is it's not over yet.
Pretty much, that's it. The reality is not over yet. And don't even get it twisted or to think that you have this little window or leeway where you can do what you really want. And
people are looking for their boundaries. Like some even are just... looking for the rush and the feel of it. So
it's bad. It's terrifying on one hand, but on the other hand, I understand.
It's pretty interesting.
But what do you usually do on the King's Day?
Yeah, man. That's a good question.
Was it 2 years ago? Yeah, 2 years ago.
I think I celebrated it at the Netherlands Embassy in Ghana, which was fun.
Oh.
I think so, because that was like with a live concert. Of, I think it was.
And Ghana celebs also.
Yeah, it was King Promise, I think. And at first, of course, they started with their Dutch songs, eating cheese, drinking beer, and they had silent disco and stuff. But later on to the evening, they were then playing, Ghana music and
full on Ghana concert.
Poffertjes, it was like a healthy mix of Holland.
Oh.
Versus...
Is it more fun over there than it is over here?
It was, man.
Yeah?
For me, it was. Because I'm not keen on, I'm not keen on alcohol in the sense where you get drunk and people like to get drunk. Just to be drunk. I don't get it.
It's like when you're young, right? When you're a kid, King's Day is always about going out and actually either selling stuff yourself, or like going through the sales and this and with your parents, because my parents were looking for stuff to buy and then ship to Ghana,
microwave,
right? All those kind of stuff. Like my father would go to on King's Day, he would go out to Weesp and maybe Utrecht to find televisions, speaker sets, and those things, and then a month later he will ship them to Ghana. But then you grow a bit older, you get into your teens where you can go out and stuff like that. So then King's Day become more of you hanging out with your mates. And what are you doing? You're just going out there to Central Station, walking through the kermis on King's Day. But then you get a bit older, like after 20s. And then that's when you start going to festivals or concerts on King's Day.
Exactly.
Like the Radio 538, we same plane. Those kind of concerts. So it becomes like just partying on King's Day. None of the sales, none of the families, none of the walking. It's just straight getting drunk, partying. I think after a while, like it goes back because you get kids and then you have to take them. The cycle. But now Corona happened.
I don't.
Then Corona happened, so it's like, okay, are people still trying to party, like party, or is it more they want to be able to sell stuff outside? Because that is something we were not allowed to do, or I haven't done for 2 years now. So that's
true. I wonder what it's going to go back to in that sense. But the sales and partying, I think, will always remain because people long for that in a way. I think it will.
Definitely.
But this pretty much, I think, for a lot of people, they just didn't care. At the canals, they were just drinking their beers and stuff like that, and we're just looking for the heat of that moment.
Luckily where I was, it was quite mellow. Like people did stay indoors, they managed to keep their distance, even though the lakeside was full and people were just laying around, let's say with groups of them. I don't know, somehow it looked safe in a sense. So
social distance was strong.
Pretty much. It was I was in Deventer. And
that sounds like an intentional trip.
Had plans on going on there for King's Day. Not necessarily as a King's Day planning, but just to go there, and it happens to be on King's Day. So it was fun. I managed to see some friends. Yep.
Oh man. Shout out to Jerry, who says, let's get drunk. I know you would. You always find some kind of party. He says, in heaven there is no beer like we say in Ghana. Okay, so you must consume beer here, right? That's what Jerry is saying. What kind of motivation is that? It'd be like, okay, in heaven there's no beer, so
let's go drunk here.
That's interesting. But King's Day, that's really what it is.
I do miss King's Day though, like traditional Queen's Day. I miss
the proper one. I did enjoy because I don't know if that was the case in Amsterdam area as well, but in the Hague area you have the night to King's Day, where they do a few of activities. The kermis is open, so throughout the night you can walk around. The shops are open till late, that type of thing. I did enjoy doing that and get my Oli bowl at the highlight of the day. They would always bring the Oli bowl.
I remember people would they would start King's Night, so that's like the night before the King's Day or Queen's Day, and then they would just go out, then go to bed, wake up, and do their like normal routine. Hey, where we meeting up? Either Belmer, they meet up here, and then from there they go to Central Station, walk around, have food, like eat at this food trucks and food joints,
Poffertjes, what is it?
Have those traditional
the fish, those type of things,
adding all of that, and then all right, let's go hang out somewhere. And then they go to someone's house and then hang out there. And then it's like, okay, we all going home. They go home, let's say around 7 p.m., 8. To meet up at 11 again. And then they party like that, the nights, and then they'll just go all out. And it was the best King's Days or Queen's Day was when it falls like on the Saturday, on the weekends.
Of course, because then you have all of the time to do nonsense.
Yep, and you can also sleep the next day. But if it happens like on a Tuesday, tomorrow, the next day you're going back to work.
But wasn't? Oh yeah, okay. Work life then begins. Because I was almost gonna say like, didn't vacation? Because they always attach it to my vacancy, right?
No. That's the thing. They never managed to do that.
Right.
So it is, but then mostly the week after. So what most people will do, I know that they if King's Day is like on a Friday, they'll take the Thursday off, and then Friday, so have like a long weekend.
Yeah.
Or if it's on a Monday, they'll just take the Tuesday off, so they can go and party and still come home and then do the thing. So yeah, I mean, it would never hurt to take one day off before that Queen's or King's Day, but not everyone can take a day off. But most people actually manage to take a day off.
They do. They will
before and after. Yeah,
they will. They definitely for King's Day or Queen's Day, whatever that was before. People will definitely have their celebration going.
Yeah,
I think these are the type of things that you would come back for if you were to migrate somewhere else, and be like, okay, let me go to my Holland.
Yes, exactly. I think so too.
And enjoy this.
Yeah,
I think that would definitely be it. Shout out to Jerry, man. Jerry has all kinds of crazy fantasies. He says, I'm not a fan of alcohol though, but sometimes it's just fun to go on an MP Virgin. What's an MP Virgin? That's probably a drink, right? A cocktail.
MP Virgin.
And sometimes I just want to go all out. Well, definitely, Jerry, you have proven to be one that could go all out. So we bet that your King's Day has been all of that. How was your King's Day, especially for our Amsterdam-based listeners? Do let us know. And of course, I'm curious to know and find out where you are tuning in from. Here on Africa on Focus on High Radio. We have yet to talk some more about, the things regarding COVID-19. It's still very real. We have been advocating for, of course, having a good balanced life of fun, health, and all of that. But, to also keep in mind that it's really real. And of course, we're having our conversations to lighten the mood and also have that bit of addressing the stress levels of it. As we are speaking about stress levels, let's go on to the music. We'll be right back to talk some more about what's going on in Africa. Myself and Donny, of course, we are going to talk. And let me just give you a preview about some couple of things that we will talk about. Is European Super League, is an African version realistic? And how Ugandan is Oscar winner Daniel Kaluuya. Inventions and icons from Africa, and so much more of what's going on on the continent, in our world. So do make some time to discuss with us, and of course we'll be right back to talk some more about what's going on in the world of Africans. Let's go.
Voila, jiggy, everything changed for you. Man, no be the same since the day you came for me. Oh my God, what that day for me. I keep back that day for me. My man, no teach, you can give me love for me. Papa, be taking care of me. Just the day that you came here, I've not been the same. Not been the same. Since the day that you came here, I've not been the same. Since the day that you came here, I've not been the same. Yeah, well, you the only one for Jiggy. Every time you take to me like a baby, and your loving boss my head oh steady, and nobody fit to do me like my daddy. Messy party run over. Oh my God, get the game over. When he my strength you take over. Oh my Joe, Messy party run over. Oh my God, get the game over. When he my strength you take over. Oh my Joe, my Jehovah. Yeah. Since the day that you came here, I've not been the same. Yeah. I've been the same. Oh, the day. Since the day that you came me, I've not been the same. Since the day that you came me, I've not been the same. Since the day that you came me, I've not been the same. Wait, I'm your do leba wono. Odana ya luma otokano. You pick me from the Mary clay, set my feet up on the rock, oh. And you love me through it, cause you matter down over me, over me, over me. But I like to see over me, over me, over me. See you left there over me, over me, over me. But I like to see over me, over me, over me. Show you want to see man, take your man, Makata. Make you take it on the conscience. And you really want to go conscience. Every morning, noon and night, you say they be loving me right there. And you just be fighting my fight, and you be giving me victory. You every morning, noon and night, and you say, you say they be fighting my fight, and you just give me victory. Yeah. Nobody fit to love me like the way you do. Nobody fit to do me like the way you do. Jehovah. Yeah, I wanna. I'm your set to let I wanna. Odana ya luma otokano. You pick me from the Mary clay, set my feet up on the rock, oh. And you love me through it, cause you matter down over me, over me, over me. But I like to see over me, over me, over me. See you left there over me, over me, over me. But I like to see over me, over me, over me. Yeah. Couple done the overflow. Jagga the jaja mu denge mu post. One quarter one send no post. Indiana Jama, ya can't stop my ghost. Me I can't lose my God day with me. He did. The thing they give me plenty joy, say you there for me. Every day. Call me out from ghetto. Brand new life you give me. And nobody stressing, your mark is all over me. All on go, I know this stress. I got my cares on him. Oh, terrible thing, Jackie Pelluin. I'm your set to let I wanna. Odana ya luma otokano. You pick me from the mountain, set my feet up on the rock, oh. And you love me through it, cause you matter down over me.
What's up, party people? I am listening to High Radio with my girls.
Over me. See you left there over me, over me, over me. But I like to see over me, check, over me. Yeah.
And that was Obaringi. Shout out to T-Babs. T-Babs is also one that is responsible for most of the, current, let's say, Afro gospel songs that are out there. So shout out to you, T-Babs, for also blazing some fires on the comment box. Shout out to Evans Joe Danso, and also a shout out to Nino Brown for also connecting with me right here on High Radio. You're listening to Africa on Focus with myself and Donny. And here is where we share our success stories. We highlight global Africans, their stories. We connect them with ours, and we look for ways as to how we can create the success and the movements that we really need to build ourselves as Africans and beyond. And welcome to High Radio. Amsterdam's most dynamic satellite and digital radio station that promotes African culture to Africans in the diasporas. That is really much our specialty. Again, a shout out to everybody that's listening to us. We're pretty much sort of banned from Facebook, so we're just keeping it YouTube. Let's just keep the YouTube vibe going on. So if you would like to hear some, if you would like to see some faces to the voices that you see, do find us on YouTube. It's HiRadio. Shout out to you if you're also listening on our mainstream, which is on the www.HiRadioNl.com. If you're tuning in from there, also a shout out to you and thanks for tuning in with us on this lovely Sunday. We've got so much to talk about, but before that, we also have a nice announcement that Africa on Focus is on Patreon. If you're wondering what Patreon is, Patreon is an international platform to grow our community and the community specifically who want to see us grow to our next level. We have our first goal going on. There is where you can sign up to, and if you feel that this show deserves some small coins, ranging from €5 or something, to support it, you could pretty much give it there. And this is really much how it works. We put on our goal over there, and our goal is first getting on a video editor and a copywriter that can help us to create more captivating and informative video content that can highlight the stories of global Africans. We really would like to do more with the channels that we will have. Eventually, we are going to grow African Focus to good docuseries platform that showcases how global Africans build and grow their business, creative, and communities and such. So that is also the end goal, but we're starting small. And if you want to know more, you might want to visit patreon.com/Africa on Focus. Have access to exclusive talks, behind the scenes videos, and be the first to receive our podcast episodes. And also what we will grow it into, those are some ideas that are ranging, is where we will share some tips on broadcasting, from how to set up your podcast, how to present, and even starting your own radio show. So we will give you some knowledge that will really, really be exclusive to you. Anyway, back to Africa on Focus. Man, we've already talked about this King's Day thing, but a few arrests came on. What happened?
Yeah, undoubtedly. I mean, when you give people a day, like after 2 months or 3 months of curfew, if a national festive like this comes by where the weather is good, and a day before curfew would be officially over.
Oh man!
I mean, and already people are looking for excuses to drink, to go out. So over the week, this week, 27th of April, was the King's Day in the Netherlands, and 50 arrested in Amsterdam, parks closed across the Netherlands. And for the second year in a row, the Netherlands celebrated the King's birthday in lockdown. However, the ongoing coronavirus pandemic didn't stand in the way of the thousands of people up and down the country taking to the streets and parks across the country. With the gorgeous weather, it's perhaps unsurprising that celebrations got a little out of hand, and not even a little, a lot.
That's an understatement.
Yep, that's an understatement. Dutch police forced to intervene in cities across the Netherlands. Early in the day, the municipality of Amsterdam asked people to stay out of the city center and avoid crowds, closing several entrances to Vondelpark. Similarly, Utrecht, Haarlem, Maastricht, Breda, Groningen, Leeuwarden, Rotterdam, and Tilburg saw large crowds gather, and police were forced to intervene. Several parks were closed. Parks across the countries had to be cleared out as thousands came together while failing to adhere to the 1.5 meter distance rule. The Vondelpark was evacuated and shut down at around 4 p.m. on Tuesday afternoon. Light supply and other parts of Amsterdam city center also saw huge numbers of people gathered to party. I'm wondering, did they count how many people gathered at, let's say, Vondelpark?
They probably lost count.
They probably did. Let's see, a total of 50 people were arrested in the capital and 3 police officers were injured after attempting to break up a fight and disperse crowds at Westerstraat. The riot police were also called in to take action at Leidseplein, Bloemgracht and Wolvenstraat. In Utrecht, Amsterdam and Breda, the municipality asked bars to stop selling alcohol before the alcohol ban came into effect at 8 p.m. Yeah, I mean, that's bad.
That's pretty
got
serious.
Really out of hand. I mean, for people to, I mean, for the municipality to ask people to, let's say, to stop selling alcohol, because the regular rule was no more alcohol after 8, but then around 4 p.m. already stop consuming alcohol. Man, that had to be very let's say,
wow,
bad.
Man, it's definitely a contrast from how Ghana was actually, like that, going to public places, their celebration. Of course, there wasn't a true national holiday other than Christmas, when we were around. But and it's funny how in some countries people behave, and here people just didn't care. And I'm sure that probably more than half of those that were arrested feel like they just had to go through it, or else they couldn't have a relaxed week. It's just that sensation.
Exactly. And I'm actually wondering what will happen with them. Like, do they get fined? Do they get locked up for a week? Or do they have to appear in a court of law? What's going to happen with
Good question. Probably some service work that they would have to do and be fined, or
maybe just a fine. I think just a fine.
Right.
For public disorder.
I think so. Absolutely.
Man, that's pretty bad.
Well, moving on to UK. Thousands snap up tickets to party without COVID restrictions. They tried to do the same thing here. It's just that the difference between here and UK is that they are very far out, with their vaccines. And they pretty much, the pilot thing, it's an idea to also raise some money, because with that type of pilots, tickets go up and up for like 10K and things like that, because people need it. You know what I mean? The despair of having a good time, the money people are ready to pay for just having a good time. I mean, it's crazy. Crazy. A sold-out pilot event in Liverpool will see 6,000 revelers mix in pandemic conditions. Let's find out the tea. The English city of Liverpool will hold the United Kingdom's first dance event in more than a year without coronavirus restrictions on Friday and Saturday as part of a mass gathering trial. Nightlife promoter Circus will host 6,000 individuals, 3,000 each day, over the 2-day mini festival in the first UK event of its kind in 14 months due to the pandemic. The sold-out pilot, which will include performances by English DJ and producer Fatboy Slim. I do remember that. Wasn't that, he used to have like some hits back in the day, wasn't it? Fatboy Slim? I don't know. Anyway, it's part of the British government's event research program as the country looks to ease the remaining COVID-19 rules. Data collected from the event, which require attendees to take a coronavirus lateral flow test 24 hours prior, will test the safety of large-scale gatherings before government plans to lift nearly all restrictions on June 21. Would you join the party?
I definitely would.
You would?
I definitely would. Would. Yeah, remember the Dutch also did the
pilot thing,
like
right?
This, yeah.
But wasn't it dismissed?
No, it went through. It was actually quite successful. I think that's the pilot that allowed Radio 538 to also have this concert going on last week Friday or Saturday. That people actually signed a petition against. But yeah, I mean, these pilots are necessary. And the way the UK did it, they have like a weekend.
Right.
They did 2 days. In the Netherlands, I think the pilot was only 1 day.
It was 1 day, yeah.
1 day Biddinghuis and
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if you want to party, this is the way to still party. I just didn't like the fact that here in the Netherlands they did with this whole 1.5 meter distance thing, which to me
they still kept the distance.
Yeah, I think it was, if you're in a group, if you come with your group, then your group have to stay together, but you still have to maintain, like, let's say 1.5 distance with other groups or this and that. So it was quite weird. But I'm wondering, how did the UK actually do it? They did the test, right? But what else did they had in their strategy?
So pretty much they're saying, well, as far as the Dutch one is concerned, it was saying, okay, we're doing a COVID-free thing, but we're still keeping, some of the, which makes sense. It probably stings, in the desire if people just don't want to go back to normal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's quite interesting. I am looking to see how it unfolds. I think a lot of places will be testing. I think it's a Europe thing, because if I hear of some of the highlights coming from US has their own way of dealing with COVID, which is really, really particular and strange. Almost like the desire to make money is bigger than just staying and helping things.
Yeah, I have no idea how things are going now. I mean, I have some friends living there, or like on social media you see, right? It's like everything is just normal. It seems so normal over there. People
differs per state.
Yeah, so I've no idea how things are going. I do know that they're doing the vaccines and stuff, but how that is going, it differs per state.
Yeah.
What the regulations are, what lockdown, curfew. I haven't even heard of any curfew.
Nothing. Really, it's really like their environment is really on private owned. It's really about do what you want to do, because it's your problem anyway.
Yep.
That is what's it called? Vaccine apartheid or something? What's the word for that? Speaking of that, by the way, I did find out something interesting, and that was from the talk that I did earlier on, was that the vaccine apartheid is basically saying the richer countries access the vaccine faster than the poorer countries do, blah blah blah. But it can also cause a problem, because basically is if some of the countries are behind, it also gives room for new variants to develop.
Yep.
When I heard that, I was like, wow. Oh yeah, you're right. You're actually right. So in this case, the vaccine apartheid doesn't add anything, to anybody's life.
Nope. Not really.
It's an interesting world we're living in now, man. It's really before we get back to normal, I'm gonna take like a week and to just write down the lessons I've taken from this pandemic period, so that I will not forget. Because
that's smart.
Reality check, man. Our systems are crazy. The most wealthy countries and stuff like that have health systems that don't give a F about their people or their, about the poor or anything of that. We've gone through the Floyd, we've gone through the Black Lives Matters, we've gone through all kinds of crazy things, man.
Oh, by the way, they 2 weeks ago they convicted
they did.
Derek Chauvin. We forgot to actually mention it on the podcast, but it's actually very important, that issue.
Of course.
I'll see if I can pull up, let's say, the conviction, and then the verdict, and then we can just quickly
let's go on to some music, and we'll be back to talk some more about our highlights for today, what's going on in your world, and of course, wherever you are listening from, do give us a shout out. We're always pleased to hear from our listeners. Some of the things that I really admire is the people listening from like Caribbean and Asian, Middle East and stuff like that. Do give us a shout out, and we will definitely show some love back to you. We are on to listen to some music. You are listening to Africa on Focus on Hi Radio, the voice of the next generation. We'll be right back.
You light up my life, I cannot deny. Sing your wood on me, my brother, no ya cry. I made up my mind about every time. Because I would take my, it makes life easy. You said some someone to comfort me. The way you love me, I'm now complete. Oh, joyous struggle. You said someone to comfort me. The way you love me, I'm now complete. Oh, joyous struggle. And I can do a minute without you. And I can do a minute without you. Can do a minute without you. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. William Martinina. William Martinina. William Martinina.
Although kind wine no benya, I can't deny it. I can't describe the feeling. Way on the kind, way on the kind. I'll be back. This love is the light, oh hey. Although kind wine no benya, miss I can feel, miss I can feel, miss I can feel. Although kind wine no benya.
Come close, make a hold you. Me any poor, me nyabwa. Oh baby, I can't. Why if I take my cash away? But it's a mouth, baby. I'll give you twice a day. My magic music. Me say my magic music. Me fan chavo. My magic music. My magic music.
Me know I a big penno. Me know I a big penno. Me know I a big penno. I can see it. Me know I a big penno. Yeah. Obe. To boss you na very I waka waka. Ore. If it's a sebiara ya toko. But now you dey show me. Basa you dey do me. But what's up you dey lift me. If you wahala you dey keep me.
My magic music. Me say my magic music. Me fan chavo. My magic music. Yeah, my magic music. Me for me a Charlie. Yeah, rao. I told you I'm a radio. Yeah, rao. I told you I'm a radio. Yeah, but today how you do me? Why things so you fool me? We feel too broke like two weeks. Now I buy all like movies. Yeah.
Hey, what up on me one more? And you didn't say me. Hey, what a kind of me one more? Obi that what don't need me. Cause the yantina, oh, yantina. Yantina, oh, yantina. If you say what's this, oh, what's this, what's this, oh, what's this, Oba goes to guide a bit. Guide a bit. If you was so mimreni. say Welly.
Yes, you do with your command. I am the pro. I got you. Come close, make a hold you. Me and the pro, me now. Oh, baby, I can't. Why if I take my cash away? But it's tomorrow, baby. I'll give you twice a day. Babaji musica. Me say Babaji musica. Me fanche Babaji musica. Yeah, Babaji musica. Me fame a chale ya.
Hey, you wanna fun of me, mama? And you let them Jimmy. Hey, you wanna kind of me, mama? Obiro wa do bibi. Oh, they want it down, want it down, want it down.
Oh man, shout out to Flexclusive with his latest record featuring Familia, and that record is Wasin, so you should definitely check that one out. Amsterdam-based Ghanaian artist, and so much more music that you should really check out for. Anyway, welcome back to Africa on Focus, where we share our success stories. Thank you for tuning in with us. Shout out to everybody that's listening on this sweet Sunday to just check us out. Shout out to I Am Gatton, who's saying, "What's up, family? What's up with you? Let us know where you're listening from. Super to have you spending time with us." It's just 7:45 live from the city of Amsterdam, from High Radio Studios. That's quite nearby the arena. Okay, so whenever you're passing by, the football arena, you're in the hood of of High Radio. Just a small commercial break. Ghana's preferred hospitality recruiter is hiring. Core Hospitality is looking to expand. Do you have what it takes to join the team of Core Hospitality, which is a hospitality recruitment company based in Accra, Ghana? Then definitely you should get in touch with them. Core Hospitality is a hospitality company with a focus on concierge recruitment and consulting, and being the preferred recruiter for various hotels, restaurants, and bars in Accra. They are well aware of the challenges that comes when it comes to human resource. So that's where they are for. Anyway, if you are looking to travel back to Accra and work, or you are based in or around the city of Accra and you are pro in hospitality, and I mean you have several years of experience of servicing people with the best of the best, they are looking for you. Who they are looking for is a passionate individual with a background in tourism, hospitality, or providing professional services, a person who's open to working in a team and sharing fresh, vibrant ideas. Those are some of the lists of people that they are looking for. What they are needing: people who have at least 5 years proven experience in the hospitality industry, a person who is dedicated and willing to learn, currently living in Ghana, or a plan to go back. If you are the person, then you should definitely send your CV and motivation letter stating which position you are interested in, and also other positions that you would be open to. Apply now by sending an email to info@corehospitalitygh.com. And if you have any other questions, you should contact them through WhatsApp or call them via +233 5427 6370. Let me repeat that: +233 5427 6370. And of course, if you are based in Ghana and the +233 is not relevant for you, that will be 054 247 6370. Make sure that you connect with them. And also, Africa on Focus comes to you every Sunday from 7 p.m. where we share our success stories. We highlight the world of global Africans. Made possible by Austin. Austin is a communications and brand company that helps you to elevate your brand or your company. Are you someone who is looking to reach your audience through digital, through offline, through social? Then you should definitely get in touch with them. www.byaustin.com. And also made possible by Be Artist, which is your one and only web hosting company, Black owned, and servicing you as you are looking for your domain domain name or your full service website, Beartist will supply you with all of that. You should look them up, www.beartist.eu. That is your web hosting, graphics, and solution platform that you should definitely check out. Anyway, back to what we were talking about. We talked about, this last year and what we should be conscious of, what we should be looking at, and some of the things that we should definitely not forget as we rush to go back to this new thing called normal. George Floyd, what are the highlights that are worth, actually so much is worth mentioning, but yeah.
So let's see. George Floyd, the George Floyd thing was, let's say, quite big. It was in the time of, let's say, in the beginning of Corona pandemic, and yet still to have the amount of people like literally go out and protest. That was significant.
So many white people, man.
And as well as the global outreach of these protests or the Black Lives Matter, that was pinnacle. So a year and a half later, or let's say a year later, they finally do the trial. But this trial is different from any other trial from the United States government. And one of the essential, the crucial differences is the fact that it was publicly broadcasted.
Oh yeah.
The trial was publicly broadcasted. I mean, with these George Zimmerman, with Darren Wilson, these are all police shootings that happened before, whereby let's say the prosecutors, they lost, or let's say the police department, they won their cases. All these trials happened behind closed doors. But in this particular case, they decided to broadcast everything, and from day 1 to day 16, 2 weeks in, every day you could follow it, from, let's say, witnesses until the actual defendant, all of that. You could see all of it live. So I think after 3 weeks they had the verdict. All right, so the verdict, Derek Chauvin, who's the main officer who put his knee on George Floyd, he was found guilty on 3 charges: 2nd-degree murder, 3rd-degree murder, and manslaughter. His bail was immediately revoked and he was placed in custody. Sentencing is likely to happen in 2 months, and Chauvin could spend decades in jail. In Minnesota, a 2nd-degree murder carries a maximum sentence of 40 years in prison. 3rd-degree murder is punishable by up to 25 years in prison, and 2nd-degree manslaughter is punishable by up to 10 years in prison. So adding this up, 65, 75 maximum of amount, like years, he could spend in prison is 75.
Right.
However, Chauvin is expected to appeal against the verdict. So that's the verdict that we have at this moment, particularly only against, let's say, this Derek Chauvin. But there's another thing that I also want to mention in this whole trial, right?
Right.
And this is another article from the Washington Post. So that is: the most important trial of police officers charged in the killing of a black man has not yet happened. This is set to take place in August, when 3 former Minneapolis police officers will be tried on charges of aiding and abetting Derek Chauvin, convicted last week.
The one who was standing next to him and we're just saying, "Shut up, everybody."
Exactly.
And while people are saying, "Watch your guy," because I think he's,
Yep. So his colleagues. That trial is also important. Here, why is it important? Because this kind of misconduct is less extreme. Prosecutors will have a tougher time convincing a jury that these 3 former officers are criminals. The thing is, if you stood there and watched, "You are a dirty cop." That is an expletive deleted version of a common chant at last summer's protests after Floyd's death. In felony charges handed down last year, Minnesota prosecutors accused former officers, their names, of doing more than just observing. Kuhn and Lane were the rookie officers who arrived at the neighborhood grocery where Floyd had been accused of using counterfeit $20 bill. They found Floyd sitting in his car, where Lane aimed his gun at Floyd and ordered Floyd to show his hands. Lane pulled Floyd out of the car and handcuffed him, and he and Kuhn tried to force Floyd back into the backseat of the squad car. Floyd said that he was not resisting, but that he was claustrophobic. The thing is, to convict these 3 officers, prosecutors must prove that they helped Chauvin commit murder and manslaughter. If found guilty of aiding and abetting second-degree murder, they face the same 40 years maximum sentence that Chauvin faces for second-degree murder. The thing is, that's a big if. Right. All 3 have stronger defenses with more jury appeal than Chauvin, whose impassive facial expression as he knelt on Floyd's neck is seared into the public's consciousness. So that's in the whole thing about, you know, good cop, bad cop. The good cop is also the cop when you see that the other cop, your colleague, is doing something out of the books, right? Yeah. Hey, this is not what we're trained to do. Why are you harassing this man? Like, but of course, cops have this loyalty to each other,
they
right?
Do, yeah.
So you have to. I mean, it's important.
It's a whole like some brainwash type of
exactly, you know? But you know, it makes the cop squad also what they are. I mean, what if we know the cop squad as individuals?
Yeah, that wouldn't work.
Exactly, it wouldn't work. So that code is important for them. However, in these cases, it's merely due to that code that allows, let's say, such mistreatment to be fatal to citizens. Or, I mean, you can just say, hey, you know, back off a little bit, or, you know, just let it rest or something like that. But to literally, because Derek Chauvin had, he had his neck on George Floyd's head, but the other cop was or still had his hand, you know, cuffed and held his hand down. Yeah, like if it was me personally, I couldn't even, you know, I would have probably, you know, just stand up, let him sit down.
Exactly,
I don't know,
like,
somehow
give him space to breathe.
I don't know. Yeah, but it's like, wow. But so this trial is extremely important because I want them to be found guilty as well. Yeah. Or at least face consequences. Yes, they were doing their job and this and that. Yeah. But hey, you know, I don't know. You know, you have to take part in it. If you want to be loyal to your colleague who is mistreating others, then you have to share the consequences.
That's true.
You have to share the consequences. If you would have been like, hey, you know what, it's all right, he can also sit there, let him, I'll watch him personally. I mean, that's fine. That then when things go left, you can say, hey, I'm the guy who actually tried to you know, maintain his life or keep him alive. But you know, you just sat there and be like, oh, we are cops, we're not. I mean, that's just bad. Yeah. And we need more cops. We need more colleagues who dare stand up against the bad cops and say that, hey, what you did was bad. Maybe you don't do it in public, but I hope they do it in the lockers, in the locker room, and like behind closed doors, and point out those cops that do bad. Like, you see them harassing young boys, you can tell them that, okay, that was totally unnecessary. One day I almost caught a fine, but I was holding my phone while riding a cycle, and then there were 2 cops in the car, right? So they pulled me over and they were about to fine me. Like, literally, the older cop, there was a young cop and an older cop, and then the older cop said, oh, you should have known that you were not allowed to hold your phone and whilst on a site on a bicycle. But I had like that year, I think I've had a car for the entire year or the year before, so I had no idea that this, and it was a new rule, right? And
yeah,
that
it was quite recent.
Yeah, it was a new rule. They had
telephone
informed.
bicycle thing.
So I was like, oh, I didn't know. But the thing is, I looked around me. I was, I think, riding alongside a park, so it was like empty. There was no, like, let's say, harm's way or nothing. But he still felt like, okay, I'm going to give you a fine.
Sure.
That's what he said. And then his colleague pulled him to the back of their car, like onto the booth, and they talked. They came back. And they were like, okay, you know what? We're gonna let you off with a fine, with a warning this time, since you live close by. You said, and I can tell that you're going to a training, because I had my kimono with me. I do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu,
right?
And I had my gi with me, and I tied it like on the front of my bicycle,
the phone,
on my bicycle. So he had seen it, and he asked, hey, do you do jiu-jitsu? I was like, yeah, I do jiu-jitsu. And this was the younger cop, right? So they came back. He was like, you know what? Because you do jiu-jitsu and I do jiu-jitsu too,
right?
We're gonna let you off with a warning. And I mean, I had mixed feelings about that.
Sure.
Cool, you're not going to give me a fine.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, I felt like, okay, is it because I do jiu-jitsu I get off with this? My blessing. However, I felt for the other person who would probably get fined, because he doesn't do jiu-jitsu, so he would just actually
what I've noticed from that what I've noticed from that police thing is, it's really what story you come up with. That's really like, if you want to be tough and blah blah,
Yep, yeah.
And here in the Netherlands, man. But some are ruthless. So
they just, we're gonna give you a fine. Because I asked them, like, what's the harm? Like, why is it not allowed? I mean, since when it was like, no, those are the rules, and it has been enforced since this and that. And the thing is, he wasn't going to give me a warning, because whenever a rule gets implemented or mandated, right, they always have this couple of months where it's just
grace period. Yeah.
It was like, the grace period is already over, so I will have to fine you. But yeah, luckily, Jiu-Jitsu came in handy and saved me. But here, you have one cop who does intervene on, let's say, on behalf of the civilian, be like, hey, you know what, I can tell, like, he's generous, and he genuinely didn't know about this fact, because I saw them like drive past me, and I was just listening to music on my phone, and they came back. So if I had known, the minute I would have seen them, I would have like put it away, right? Sure. But I was just cruising. It was a sunny day. I'm going to training.
Yeah, you were just minding your own business.
Yeah, I was just cruising. So it was like, we see like you're a genuine dude, and your belt on your jiu-jitsu is also like you dedicate some amount of time in it. So, and I can respect that. So it was more of that respect thing that you were like, you know what, I think he's a good dude, so let him pass for this one. But
it sent out a message.
Like, man, if it wasn't my jiu-jitsu,
it saved you. It saved you. It definitely
did. Because that those fines here in the Netherlands,
they're crazy.
Expensive. Compared to Germany, like for the same,
compared to any European, we're like on top of the list with.
With fines. Yep, for the smallest crimes or the smallest offenses, you get like fined 3 times the price of if you would do it in Germany or Belgium or in other European countries,
France or stuff like that. I remember my uncle was like, "Oh yeah, if I park here, I get 17 euros." I would be like, 17 euros? You would get, if you are on a, what's it called? The wrong parking space, you would get up to 300.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Man.
If it's like if it's a handicap spot. Yep. All those things. Yeah. It's
painful, man. It's super painful.
Oh,
but that was the latest update on what we went through the last year. Yeah. Really well. Something we just had to go through, which was the case surrounding George Floyd. and of course the verdict of the one who did it. Shout out to Elarm GH and Becca Adom for you giving me a shout out on Instagram. And also, if you are listening via our platform www.HiRadioNl.com, shout out to you. If you want to see our faces, make sure that you find the Hi Radio YouTube channel and interact with us, because we are also there. When we come back, we will talk about some interesting African innovations that you should know. You should tell your children, okay, that they come from Africans. But first, let's listen to some music. We're going to listen to Kwabena Awute with this record called Fine Woman, and we'll be right back.
Fine woman, your body like chocolate, African woman. Your body like chocolate, fine woman. Taste I gon' never forget, African woman. Body like chocolate, fine woman. Your body like chocolate, African woman. Your body like chocolate. Body sweet like a coke. She shy, so we taking it slow. You dead for my mind, but you already know the way she unwind, I go lose my control. Oh, say, baby, if I make up, so we lose ourselves in love. I go do anything for your love, fine woman. Your body like chocolate, African woman. Your body like chocolate, fine woman. Taste I gon' never forget, African woman. Body like chocolate, fine woman. Your body like chocolate, African woman. Your body like chocolate. The way you waist wine,
Hi Radio,
following the baseline. Take it low. Take it slow. Take it easy. Nyabo train me, yo fe. Maybe if I make up, so we lose ourselves in love. I go do anything for your love. Miss it from my man, fine woman. Your body like chocolate, African woman. Your body like chocolate, fine woman. Taste I gon' never forget, African woman. Body like chocolate, fine woman. Your body like chocolate, African woman. Your body like chocolate. I will take to the world. Your body like chocolate.
God is blessed. I'm the blessed of God. I am the one who God is blessed. The one who God is blessed. I am the one who God is blessed. I'm the blessed of God. I am the one who God is blessed.
BT High Radio, I am the one who God is blessed.
Blessed of God. I am the one who God is blessed. Oh, nah. I am the one, yes. I am the one, oh, yes. I will tell it everywhere I go. I will tell it everywhere I go. I'm telling everyone I know that Jesus is love. I will tell it everywhere I go.
I'll tell it.
I will tell it everywhere I go.
You know what it is, right? It's gnarly. This is a story of a child who was blessed of God. Young boy from Africa, winning the world for God. Like this on your channel, these boys so trying to rap and who get this egg and they win the soul. Pure bliss, so we found one another since the day. Put I need out and yes, yeah, Jesus, my soul. Honestly, when I see people singing my songs and praising the Lord, I feel blessed up. It's an honor to be used as a vessel. They told me, Nolly, you lucky you came up too fast, though. I tell them that a blessed man is a blessed man, yeah. I don't believe in luck, I believe in blessings.
I am the one who God has blessed. The one who God has blessed. I am the one who God has blessed. I'm the blessed of God. I am the one who God has blessed. The one who God has blessed. I am the one who God has blessed. I'm the blessed of God. I am the one who God has blessed. The one who God has blessed. I am the one who God has blessed. Oh, no, blessed of God. I am the one who God has blessed. Oh, nah, nah. I am the one, yes. I am the one, oh, yes. I will tell it everywhere I go. I will tell it everywhere I go. I'm telling everyone I know that Jesus is love. I will tell it everywhere I go. I will tell it everywhere I go. I'm telling everyone I know, yeah. Oh, nah.
Yo, who got this blessed? No man can curse, yeah. Yes, I'm the best, no one can test, yeah. And when connects up in the high places, no matter what, always on top, yeah. Life is super wavy when you're living in Christ. I be surfing on challenges like the ocean wave tides. I live life on the mountain top. City set on the hill, I go shine cause I be light. It's the story of my life. Chine do mokwa mona chimso. On the maro nezi wafamu buchukunon. So my God's got me. I'm not scared what man would do to me. Don't you know who God is blessed? No man can curse, yeah. And every time I try to count my blessings, I realize I can't comprehend it with my senses. I'm blessed beyond material things, man, I'm made for life. I'm the blessed of God, and what a good word. And every time I try to count my blessings, I realize I can't comprehend it with my senses. I'm blessed beyond material things, man, I'm made for life. I'm the blessed of God, and what a good
I am
word.
the one who God has blessed. The one who God has blessed. I am the one who God has blessed. I'm the blessed of God. I am the one who God has blessed. The one who God has blessed. I am the one who God has blessed. I'm the blessed of God. I am the one who God has blessed. The one who God has blessed. I am the one who God has blessed. Oh, no, blessed of God. I am the one who God has blessed. Oh, nah, nah. I am the one, yes. I am the one. Oh, yeah.
I'm a partaker of divine light. I'm a conduit of the God light. Yeah. Being born again, I'm one with Him. Being born again, I'm one with Jehovah. I'm a partaker of divine light. I'm a partaker of divine light. I'm a conduit of the God light. Being born again, I'm one with Him. Being born again, I'm one with Jehovah. I'm a partaker of divine light. My life is His, I'm hidden Him. Higher than sin, we reign supreme. I want the world to know I've got to let Him show. I'm marching on, winning souls. Till He comes, I occupy. So when I'm gone, don't be surprised. Birds fly gang, slash speed. I'm moving all the seas. I'm so busy building my bank back home. I'm building my bank back home. Dance if you feel the tempo. Come on, let's do this slow-mo. I'm all about my Jesus Christ, the one who makes me shine. Dance if you feel the tempo. Come on, let's do this slow-mo. I'm all about my Jesus Christ, the one who makes me shine. I'm a partaker of divine light. I'm a conduit of the God light. Being born again, I'm one with Him. Being born again, I'm one with Jehovah. I'm a partaker of divine light.
Father, Spirit, Son, and I are one. Yeah, He lives inside said and goes home, my heart. I am good kind. This love I have, it don't stop, it keeps going. To everyone I come across, yeah, it keeps flowing. Trying to bring me down, it won't work, no. It won't work, no. I move with the wings of the spirit, far above challenges and
HiRadioNl,
and that's when I
voice of the
feel
next
the
generation.
tempo. Join me if you can feel it too.
Dance if you feel the tempo. Come on, let's do this slow-mo. I'm all about my Jesus Christ, the one who makes me shine. I deal in divine light. I'm a conduit of the God life. Being born again, I'm one with Him. Being born again, I'm one with Jehovah. Jehovah. I'm a partaker of divine life. I'm a conduit of the God life. Being born again, I'm one with Him. Being born again, I'm one with Jehovah. I'm a partaker of divine life.
HiRadioNl, voice of the next generation.
And that was Nui collaborating with Marizu on that record called One. And before that, you listened to Blessed of God collaborating with Marizu as well. Anyway, welcome to Africa on Focus. Here is where we share our success stories. We are back again. Yo, 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 it's me again. Myself and Donny, we get to talk about all things Africa, matters arising, and a whole lot more that you should be working on. Welcome back. Shout out to everybody who's tuning in through Facebook, through YouTube, and all the other channels. Man, shout out to you for listening. And also through the HiRadio platform. It is super cool to have you hanging out with us. It is 8:15 CET time, or that should be called Amsterdam time. And exactly the time where we have, let's say, about three quarters or 45 minutes left before the show ends. And yeah, that will be all for this week. It's May. This is the first Sunday of May. Man, time flies.
Happy birthday to my older sister.
All
my
right.
twin sister.
You're a twin.
Oh man.
Okay.
We look.
Oh.
I wish I was twin though. Yeah, happy birthday to my sister, Donny Addison. God bless you.
Oh, cool. That's so kind of you to be giving her a shout out on our birthday. That's good. Shout out to all of the May people and those of you who have a birthday on this day. It's super cool.
Yeah.
Catching back to Africa on Focus, also a bit of commercial break. Core Hospitality Ghana is looking for people to work with. Are you based in Accra? Or are you looking to, return to Ghana and you would really like to build your career in the hospitality industry? You should most definitely get in touch with Core Hospitality GH. And as we mentioned earlier on, they're now recruiting people because there is going to be a period whereby the hospitality industry is going to need some more professionals to, of course, bring in a full service to the hospitality industry in Ghana. Apply now. Send an email or send your CV and motivation letter stating which position you are interested in. Also, do let us know, or do let them know other positions you will be open to. Apply via info@corehospitalitygh.com. For any other questions, do contact them via WhatsApp or call them on +233 54 247 6370. I repeat, +233 54 247 3670. Let's look at what's going on in Africa. There was one interesting read I just felt like, it was worth sharing. It is good to highlight, this type of news and to really be aware that, Africa is great. Okay. It is awesome. And here is one thing that I found worth sharing, which was the 100th issue 100 Innovations, and this was published by Forbes, Inventions and Icons from Africa. From Hollywood experts and Grammy artists to award-winning ideas that can save the world, Africa is not only diverse in its people, but also in its industries and creativity. For Forbes Africa 100th issue since the magazine's inception in 2011, man, that's quite young, we decided to curate a list celebrating a couple of ideas, inventions, and influential role models that have spelled Africa's growth over the last decade. Shout out to Chanel Retief and Simon Umrah for writing all of this out. So Africa, a continent bringing with beauty and diversity, has produced some of the finest minds and most incredible ideas, be it in business, science, art, or entertainment, thus debunking the many myths, misconceptions, and stereotypes about the continent from the Western world. Yes, that should be put to death. The continent boasts 6 of the world's fastest growing economies. Many outside of the realm of Africa are unaware that Nollywood, Nigeria's film industry, is technically larger than Hollywood in terms of the number of films produced every year. And the current OTT platforms are witness to this, as they have seen the release of several Nollywood films, including the recently released love story Namaste Wahala on Netflix. The World Bank released a report in October 2020 stating that despite the fact that COVID-19 has disrupted many of the continent's economies, Africa could make a recovery this year due to the diverse continent offering human and natural resources that have the potential to yield inclusive growth and wipe out poverty in the region, enabling Africans across the continent to live healthier and more prosperous lives. Oh man, that sounds good. The list of innovations, inventions, and icons in no particular order on the pages that follow are testament to the ingenuity of the African mind and spirit of resilience and Afro-optimism. The future is good. Afro-optimism, I didn't even know about this. But did you notice that if we even look at entertainment, more of the standout people are Africans, actually.
In entertainment,
especially if they're British, then okay, this is an African.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that makes us Africans. We just have that in our culture, right?
Right.
I mean, entertainment is how we experience life. Like we can imagine like being in an office, right? Just doing, even in a bank, corporate office, doing your thing, and then like you can tell if it's let's say if you happen to have African colleagues,
right?
The atmosphere is just a little bit different.
Yeah.
You have a sense of people having, let's say, a little bit of fun, even when even when it's tense and we are month ends, we have to do our financials and this and that.
Yeah.
There's still this area of someone fooling around, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, that spirit of entertainment, I don't know where we got it from, but somehow it's kind of like it has pushed us in all, society. You always find these Africans at the top doing something.
Yeah. It's something creative.
Whether they call themselves African Americans
or what,
British Africans or whatever, but you find them there.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can even look at the Oscars. Though we don't get invited to the Oscars, but you best believe that there's some black African American top entertainers, like top actors in there doing their thing. To me, Denzel Washington remains one of the
icons.
If not, let's say the best actor ever for me personally.
I would agree, definitely.
Right. So we're there.
He kills
we're
it.
There.
He kills it, absolutely. Well, the world is used to seeing Africa as a continent of need, but we are a continent of creators, innovators, entrepreneurs, teachers, and professionals. Our universities and research institutions are not ivory towers of elite knowledge, unless you study in Ghana or South Africa. That's something I realized recently, by the way. It shared a print screen on the requirements of University of Amsterdam, and they said if you're coming from Africa, what was it? A bachelor degree in African countries is the same as the second year of a bachelor here, unless you come from Ghana or South Africa.
Oh,
yeah. So that's that's quite interesting. I don't know what the story behind that is. We should find that out. What did Ghana do and things like that.
Okay.
But it's not bad. No. It can be improved, but there's still hope. Instead, we consider real problems faced by fellow Africans. The many innovations that Africans have produced to address the problems raised by COVID-19 are just a hint of what we can do as a continent. Our young people need to know and develop their own potential as Africans to help the world solve humanity's wicked problems. It is time that we begin thinking of ourselves in the light of what we can offer the world. And to do so, we need to invest in research that will build our potential. And this is no small task, but it is essential to our future. I definitely agree. There are some, inventions that are worth highlighting.
Yeah,
and
which ones?
Let's see. Let's make a selection, and the rest I would definitely urge people to really look at that. So I would start with the Yawam washing machine. If you want to know what Yawam washing machine is, created by Stephen Wamukota, is greatly respected in his village in Western Kenya. His foot-operated washing machine has helped curb the spread of COVID-19 in his community, as it reduces the need for people to use the communal tap when washing clothes. And seeking funding to continue his product line, he hopes to expand to other communities, a goal he hopes to achieve before his 10th birthday. So this is actually a child that came up with this. One thing that I love, right, about inventing in Africa, I remember, what was it? I think it was a church or something, like a sound part like broke down. And one of the pastors was like, listen, I'm sure if this would have broke down in Ghana or where you're from, somebody would just come up with a solution and just create something to have it work, while we throw it away and we're like, okay, rest in peace, it's done.
Just buy a new one.
Exactly. People from Africa would just,
Yeah, and it will be done during the church service.
It will. It will. And I was like, man, you're so right. So I would say, because a lot of people say that, and I really look at, because I'm so interested in documentaries and the feedback that I get from, let's say, presenters coming from that, they really admire Africans for being so hopeful. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it has to do with the hustle, the pressure of your environment, as in like, I'm not going to spend money for this. You know what I mean? And also just being hopeful. Yeah. I guess that, presses the grind of people. What other inventions should we mention?
I see that most of these inventions, right? Let's say had to do with Corona. So it kind of like made Corona more, help people live with Corona.
Yeah.
In a sense. And some of them like could be used by your neighbor or everyday citizen. Some of them not. Like this one stood out to me, the P-Guard thing.
P-Guard.
Yeah, so Innova Robotics CEO Anis Sabani calls the P-Guard robot the robotic solution to civilian protection. So after the unrest in Tunisia a few years ago, citizens felt the need for personal protection. This is how P-Guard called. The world's first robot designed for private protection came into being.
Okay.
The P-Guard robot can survey an area using its panoramic camera, which also has thermal imaging.
Right.
It can transmit its GPS location and has a long Wi-Fi range. These robots surveyed private homes And when the COVID-19 pandemic hit, Sabani saw the opportunity for PGuard to intervene. During lockdown, security guards were deployed to keep people from breaking regulation. This to me was a great problem because it then put the security guard at risk of being infected himself. This is where PGuard came in and could provide the same functions without the worry of infections, explains Sabani to Forbes South Africa. Forbes Africa. So, is this useful for the everyday African? Perhaps not. However, institutions like the police department, this and that, could pick something up, pick this one up, and actually make it useful. But again, the question is, if you live on a continent as Africa where we have infrastructure problems and this and that,
man.
what use of it would it be to have a P-guard or let's say a police robot survey an area for this and that? So
the crazy roads and things.
Yeah,
right.
But I think it's for those, let's say, private homes who do have the wealth.
Yeah.
And like, oh, we just have it for fun and
Sure.
have it, or survey one of our homes that we are not there, so we can
Sure.
remotely or from a distance just check up on those things. So that it will come in very handy.
True.
But yeah,
That's a good one. Well, interesting.
tech innovation.
Another one is also Hack Corona. When the West African-based Internet of Things CEO Joshua Opoku Ajimai saw how the COVID-19 pandemic was affecting his Ghanaian community, he felt the need to help. And this is exactly what he did. Under the umbrella term Hack Corona V, he invented 3 different items that could be used to prevent the virus from spreading. And he says our inspiration came from the community first and the need to protect the people around us, says Ajimai to Forbes Africa. Each item serves a different purpose. The first was a touchless washing bucket that worked through a foot mechanism. Okay. And what he noticed about public washing buckets that came with taps attached to it is that you had to use your hands to open the tap, and when you finish, you would have to close it yourself. So this could also be a medium for the virus to spread, and this inspired the creation of the touchless washing bucket. Is what he explains. The second was a reusable face mask created using 3D printing and from materials that were locally sourced. The final invention under Hack Corona V is an artificial intelligence home system that allows you to control appliances from your phone. And the system they came up with helps you control your lighting system and switches, especially in public spaces, to avoid these devices more than is needed. So they have created an app, and these are just a few of the inventions he has begun to roll out, and with more ideas in the pipeline. It will be interesting to see what Ajimai and his team will come up with next. All right, so they stay creative, I guess. Let's do one more. I see world's first digital laser. Sandile Inkobo is a scientist from South Africa, has revolutionized many different industries with one invention, and is reported the first person in the world to create the first functional digital laser. The digital laser has several applications, including uses in the health sectors to the beauty industry, and has been deployed for a variety of purposes since its inceptions. All right, so a lot of COVID related inventions, I would say, definitely. I'm very, very interested to have more of a look on this. You also have a payment processor, Nigerian company Flutterwave. That name sounds familiar. It's based on a financial application programming interface. A lot of is it called fintech? Fintech, yeah.
Yes.
A lot of these creations are coming from Nigeria, and I don't know because it's such, just like Ghana, a very cash driven environment. They're trying to find the way of which digital space could really drive the money, because in Ghana it's mobile money, which is really a thing. I don't think the internet bankier as we know it would be a thing there.
Doesn't have to,
Right. So a lot of Nigerian-based companies are really getting creative with that, and they have one financial application programming interface that makes it simpler to process payments across Africa. And it is not just a useful tool for individuals, but also an enabling technology because it helps other businesses, including startups. And while Flutterwave is useful within countries, the unique nature of Africa makes it doubly useful across borders. And Ulubenga GB Agbola, a founder and CEO of Flutterwave, speaks more about that. So you should definitely look about that. Plastic Road, we have drone services. Man, African countries love their drones. They don't like them as, here they don't like them as much as they do.
No. I think over there they just they see them as gadgets, and they always just want to have fun with those things. Whereas here it has to serve maybe a political idea, or it has to serve something that can be useful for the system.
Yeah.
Or you probably will not not see them.
Yeah.
I think I read a news article last week. There was a police department in the states, in one of the states, where they had purchased these robotic dogs,
right?
These police dogs, and they
really,
okay. And they had it with them on the road with a remote controller. And one of the comments I read was, spending, I think it was over 50K or something, spending that to purchase a dog that is pretty much useless, whilst they could spend that money to invest in either training or in something else for the police department. This is what they want to do with their money. Those tech things are there. Over here they just want to use it and to see if it's useful for the department, but some of those things are just it doesn't serve anything really. But yeah, drones are being used though, like drones for surveying, and I know they've been used for years in war. Drones, so that has been let's say a handy tech innovation that has been used as well.
And also for one of the recent projects in Ghana where what was it, they used drones to what's it called, do optimize the testing, so the time of, remember that one that
as well.
Africa has always been powerful as it is now that Africans are knowing the details, and Africans themselves are capitalizing on it.
Yeah, but
at first the white people would saw it and we didn't.
But do we actually see them? Do we see our strength, and are we actually utilizing them?
I think the awareness of it is more now. Also the barrier to do something, on your continent, at least for us. But I must say that when it comes to for Ghanaians, the barrier is quite low compared to other countries. Okay. We are quite ahead as it relates to being able to, go back, initiate an idea or do something.
Yeah.
I must say that that's not the case for.
And it's like there's two different, like the world is so different. Why? Because on one hand, this is the Afro optimism, right? Where we do see, hey, yes, we are being aware of our strength and we actually want to utilize or make our own. But I don't know, somehow there's this other coin that literally sees no hope in today's generation. All I hear is just complaints.
Is it?
Yeah.
Right.
And I don't know where that is from. And people keep talking about mindset, and what pains me the most is the fact that it's coming from those in the diaspora, right, talking about that, whereas we through African Focus actually are in contact with Ghanaians in Ghana, looking or having this optimism that, hey, we can do it ourselves.
Yeah.
So sometimes I feel conflicted about this. But Clubhouse, that's where
it's where the space is. Okay, so
Clubhouse,
that's where
you meet those in the diaspora,
right,
like giving their opinion on issues, and also those in Ghana. And sometimes I get like a bit discouraged when I hear those in the diaspora like talking about the mentality. Or
you do? Is it that bad?
Yeah, you'll be surprised. You would be surprised. And that's the thing. That's the other world that I don't understand, because I happen to find myself in this world where we are optimistic and we do see betterment for Africans, but somehow other people, all they see is just hell,
right,
or they just see negativity. I don't know, maybe from personal experiences, or
maybe it is
through studies. I don't know, but of course it's there.
Yeah.
Yes, it's definitely there. But on which side of the coin do you want to operate from?
Sure.
Yeah,
sure.
It's a choice.
I think that's worth talking. I think we should take this on the forthcoming weeks, because it's quite of a long article. It also covers icons.
This one,
and just touch on 3 or 4 every week to really talk about what are the inventions or the people, and to really look at their impact. I mean, if I look at the icons, you have from various places. You have the Mr. Easy's, Bonang, Matiba, South African ones, not just entertainment, but also people who have who are not quite, but really influential. Is Elon Musk a South African? Okay.
Is he?
He is listed on there. Okay, we should definitely drag this up until next week and the weeks after. Chimamanda Ngozi, of course, in her writing, Genevieve Naji, who is veteran actress, Niger actress. I've noticed there are a lot of South Africans and Nigerians on this list, and that is not a surprise, because one thing that I do know, and that is from from my period where I started writing on African focused items. When I started my internship at Ghetto Radio Africa, or This is Africa, in 2011, there it was already evident that if it comes to the people that could really take, whether that be tech, entertainment, or something to an international level, South Africa would definitely. They have the infrastructure, they have everything there to provide the particular quality that could be able to compete with international Nigerians, because their grind is just impeccable. They do not, their mindset is on a whole nother level. Do not touch the confidence of a Nigerian at all. I don't care if it doesn't look good, their confidence will tell you, bruh, I am the best in this. So it does explain a lot of a lot of South Africans. Kenyans would already also be on the list. Obviously, who else? A lot of South Africans, I must say. So we should definitely dive into this, the icon part. Obviously, you have the inventions. One thing that is also worth discussing is also some of the tech inventions that come from there. You have 3D printed bones for ear surgery. One I discovered recently is one that created, is it prosthesis? Is that what you call like these added hands and stuff?
Prosthetic.
Prosthetic. It looked like real, you probably seen that one, right? On LinkedIn.
With the foot.
With the foot and the hands. These are the creations worth talking about. Let's keep an eye on this, and maybe even make this a section, as in listen, innovations from Africa. This is what you should know. Absolutely. Before we go into a small music time, what's next on the news flash?
What else we got?
We've got some things. So find out, there is a new music streaming platform coming up. Nigerian streaming platform UDX partners with PiggyVest to help you invest in your favorite artists. One of the reasons that is what was worth highlighting is, this is tech. It comes from Africa, and I know Nigerians have really been on how can we digitalize entertainment and music experience at best. They've already, I remember they had this platform called Iroko TV. I don't know if you know that one. Basically it was it was the idea to bring Nollywood films to a platform where it was truly being paid for, basically.
Okay.
Because the even though Nollywood is the fastest growing film industry, they do lose on a lot of money because of the being able to get, I don't know if it was just being able to copy the films is just very easy, and
there's like no back end revenue for either the producer or the production team or the actors. It's just upfront. That's it.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
how many times people view it? How many copies it gets sold?
Yeah, there's nothing to track it.
Yeah. No track it. No. You just get paid for your acting if you get paid.
Yeah, exactly. And that also includes for their music. So even from on top of my head, 2014, they have really been on things trying to change it, and I must say that if we even compare it to the way the Ghana music industry, they are really further as it relates to getting your coins, because you can still play a Kodunfi song, on internet and no notification, nothing comes up.
Yeah.
Whereas the current, Wizkid, or even if you play a Fela Kuti song, it will definitely show, there is something that registers, what they created. Anyway, partnerships between Nigerian savings and investment startup PiggyFest and Nigerian music streaming platforms UDoX has birthed PopRev, a product that allows fans on the streaming platforms to invest in artists and earn profit. Other contributors include King Smade, CEO of Smade Group and co-founder Afro Nation and Yam Carnival, digital music distributor and aggregator, MAD Solutions led by Bugu, Aneto Okeke, Kamal Ajiboye, and Made in Africa, a music management solution. Listen, I'm just laughing because I happen to pronounce that very well and I feel proud.
Yes.
And music curator community pushing good music, PGM, led by Douglas J. Khan. This partnership will see UDoX subscribers interact with music projects beyond streaming and rating by allowing them to share in the equity each content generates. An official release reveals that PopRev fuses elements of cryptocurrency, which is booming, social networking and influencer nodes, reward mechanism, micro investment, and real-time analytics. Really excited about how this shows up because it's not, I don't see many platforms there where you can like invest in your favorite artists. But I know it's really necessary, especially for independent artists and things like that. PopRev goes live in mid-May, which means only subscribers can use this investment feature. Users can have access to a catalog of curated content or live streams by signing in after downloading the app from the Google Play Store or App Store, and they can also simply stream from the website. I'm looking forward to how that evolves, really, because it is an innovative idea coming from, the continent, and especially as it relates to tech, an area where relatively Black people are like underrepresented. I'm really looking forward as to how this unfolds.
Yeah, interesting to see. Are they going to... Because how does that even work? Like, if you want to stream music, is it
probably subscription model, right?
Yeah, but like for them to get the thing we've been facing with Facebook, like licensing.
Oh, that
get licensing from these labels and this and that. Are they gonna start with, let's say, mainly African music, or just they're gonna go like to the Justin Biebers?
No, I think they will, because if I look at the Nigerians, how proud they are on their, and they really do it from the heart, and they're like, listen, I need to make sure the Nigerian thing comes out. Because here it reads, they had entered into licensing agreements with the world's 3 largest music companies, so Sony Music, Warner Music Group, and Universal Music Group. And these deals place the startup side by side with popular music platforms playing in the African market, like YouTube Music, Apple Music, Audio Mac, and Spotify, giving it access to both local and international musicians on these companies' catalog. So both. Yeah. And this ensures, because what label does is, when a song comes out, that it's accessible on all the Spotifys.
Yeah.
So due to this is included, it's there, and yeah. So basically they are setting an example for another profit model for African musicians, and other streaming platforms might adopt a similar feature.
And perhaps something they can do is actually, because when Tidal came out,
yeah,
and you still had Spotify and Apple Music, some of the artists, for instance Beyonce, she would drop her music only on Tidal.
Yeah.
So if Pop Ref launches and it's a Nigerian based or African based, they could do all African music, or let's say Nigerians, Ghanaians,
right,
when they release their music only let's say to be played on Pop Ref, maybe for the first year,
right,
and then after a year or two you can find them on Spotify. That would actually make it more marketable for let's say Africans first, and then if any other country or any other groups also want to listen, then they will have to purchase get on the pop ref thing. The only thing though is they shouldn't make it expensive. Don't go and ask 10 euros. I mean, 10 euros a month is a lot. It's a lot.
Like even I'm not on Spotify, but I am on SoundCloud, for instance. I pay 11 per month. And last time I was looking at, listen, how much per year is this?
Yo.
So it is
premium accounts.
Yeah.
You know, you can. It's and the thing with subscription is, right, if it's like let's say 10 euro, 15 euro, you're like, oh, okay, but before you know, you have Netflix subscription, one Disney Plus subscription, Apple Music or Tidal, and then you have Spotify.
I know. So it becomes too much.
It becomes too many. And then you pull it all together, and before you know,
50 euros a month.
50 euro a month just on.
Oh, and then and then YouTube had the nerve to come with their sort of packaging, which is also what $11.99 or something like that. People were like, no. I
click it away right when I see that.
Man. And then they want to offer the playing in the background on that one. I'm like, now? No, sir. I will not subscribe to this nonsense. Honestly, not.
So like imagine 50 euros a month and then do that 12 months. So
it is a lot.
A lot of money. 600 euros just on music and this. So I know I wanted to support Tidal so bad when it came out, but I had to stick with Spotify. Like,
why was that? Was it because of the podcast?
No, because I had Spotify before Tidal even came out,
right? And
I was already a premium member on Spotify. I already had my playlist and this and that.
Everything is set.
Yes. So it's like, and then, but the thing is, so I think Jay-Z, when he dropped this album, so Jay-Z, when he dropped this album 444, and even Beyonce when she dropped Lemonade in 2016, they were not on Spotify.
They were not.
So what I would do is, if I like was with one of my brothers and they had the Apple Music, we would go to the gym. I'll grab their phone.
They would be on Apple Music.
I would listen to Jay-Z's album or to Beyonce's album, and then just go back home, be like, okay, I've listened to it. But now they are available on Spotify as well, and I was so happy.
Obviously they do, eventually.
Eventually. I mean, Drake also has this deal with Apple Music, where when he drops some album, it goes to Apple Music first. I think DJ Khaled as well, label. So like this is a new thing going on, like streaming platforms partner up with labels or to have those
very
first
competitive
reviews.
It is. It's very competitive, because even the standard that Spotify even holds is it's quite good, especially also their focus on podcasts and that type of thing, but it can be taken away just any day. So I'm sure their research and development team is like on what is next, what is the next thing we should look out for.
There was a reason why they decided to take the podcast route and leave like the music thing for Apple or Tidal, because they were like, maybe this music is getting too competitive. And as far as I know, Spotify doesn't have a partnership with any label as of yet, but I do know that Apple already have one with Epic, which is also under Universal Group. So that's a partnership there with one of the major
and
labels.
also radio stations or something like that, wasn't it?
Yeah, you have those things. So if Spotify sees like, okay, we have this amount of money, where should we direct you? Should we go to music? No, podcast is the next big thing, where you have listeners engaged for a longer amount of time, and you deal with only one content creator instead of go through the label and then the sub label and then the artist as well. No, just go through this content creator.
That's interesting.
So I think that's where they were like, okay, we're gonna take this route, and we'll see you guys in 10 years.
So do you have Apple Music? Have you subscribed to it ever?
No.
I think it's more in the American market, right? Where it's
Apple Music is something they specifically want to create around this Apple brand. So if you have Apple, you have the iOS, you have the AirPods, so they
just want to intrude the whole lifestyle.
But that's the only way to do it.
Right.
That's the only way to do it, because it wouldn't make sense. I mean, one thing you don't want to have is, like, it doesn't make sense for people to install Apple Music on the Android phones.
No, it doesn't.
But what you don't want to have is people install Spotify on the Apple phone.
Okay. But it does happen,
so that's,
right?
It does happen, because people want more podcasts and this and that. So they would download or install Spotify on the Apple phone. But that is you losing market. Why? Because Apple has Apple Music. If you have other people, I mean, if you have your customers who do have Apple iPhones or Apple devices, if you have them literally downloading some other app to get the same services that you provide, you're actually losing customers.
True.
So for them, the only way to do is actually brand it and put that into the entire Apple umbrella, with the Apple Watch, with the Apple like all that have to go together,
right?
Like synchronize it all and give it one. That's why when Apple TV came out, they also doing this whole Apple TV with, you get this in, this and that in, and it's
true
for this and that and that. And I think they also have their own streaming, like their own Netflix, but not Netflix, but just
isn't that the Apple TV? I think it's the Apple
That's
TV,
the Apple
which is
TV.
that's
Okay,
the Netflix.
Well, look at that.
Yeah.
So instead of people installing Netflix on their phone, they're like, no, you have an iPhone,
TV,
so this is the Apple TV. You just pay $5 extra a month instead of $9.99 for the Netflix. And, hey, this is
competitive pricing, man.
Oh man,
it's I do, to be on top of that. It does takes lots of investment. You have to collaborate with a lot of these king players in the industry,
and imagine the amount of money you have to spend on advertising or media. This whole media thing we were talking about with the panel, this media thing has to come from everywhere.
So for Africa, now it's really the time for these startups and things to really position themselves well.
Yes.
Because Spotify just recently was launched in Africa.
Something like
because at first you couldn't play Spotify in Ghana. What else?
This.
Okay, it's not streaming, but the fact that Twitter is opening its offices in Ghana also said, it's there.
How about
trying
the Netflix? The Netflix had a deal with this African country. Was it Zambia or South Africa?
I forget the country, but it's something like that.
Yeah, like they created a space for them, for their film industry to also can find specific movies and that. Yeah.
So it's part of them building the infrastructure, being that it is as it is. And I really hope that African startups can position themselves well, where it's not now in the hands of these giants.
And pop ref, I hope they they come out with a really good strategy in how to still win their market, not lose Africans to these giant corporations. I mean, they're already at a disadvantage simply because they just don't have the money, or nor do they have
resources. Man, I think the research and development bit takes a lot of money. And then before you even reach the marketing bit, you have spent a lot on positioning yourself well. And
a mistake you can make is also think that it is not so necessary, that research and development.
Exactly.
You think Africans, they would want to do it, but you can be mistaken, because I think there was an African platform for the Netflix, but no one even heard of it.
Was it?
Yeah, there had been one, but it shut down, or it wasn't generating anything. People were not going at it. The research development department
was it? And it's necessary, because you have to be hands-on, especially in tech and digital space. It's really fast.
It's so fast.
And if you're not hands-on as to why is one platform preferred over the other, you know what I mean, what can I do to access people, is it through their mobile phone using is fact, that is number one everywhere in the world, but through which programs could be connected payment, all of these things, you have to be hands-on. And also, I think during my teachings on digital marketing that I had some weeks ago, you get to see that if you look at the top digital platforms, because the reason why they stand out the way they do is because they invest so much in research and development.
So and that does that result in their performance, or in
absolutely always? Yes, because it makes their performance intentional. It makes their performance think in terms of people, the next generation likes to put on their location at this and this spot, so that means they would like to send music, and so they create another button for that. You know what I mean?
How about this though, since we're talking about giants and stuff? Netflix, people say that Netflix sucks when it comes to movies. They've watched all the movies on Netflix, but they still have their subscriptions. So I was thinking, is it because, just like how Spotify is now focused on podcasts, Netflix just decided, you know what, movies are okay, but the series, let's get those series on Netflix, and it will maintain. So is that also something from the research and R&D department that was you know what, guys, movies are cool and cinemas and this and that, but the next thing where to attain subscriptions and also maintain subscribers is have those pop out. What was it? Was that series?
What series?
Something that pop out. This Mexican or this Spanish.
Oh, that one, I missed that.
Is the one you see the face mask, the white face mask, and it's this bunch of criminals, or an organized they do a heist.
I don't know that one.
No? Oh man. Papel the something. The funny thing is it's not even in English, but you have Dutch people watching it. American, and it's so but I was always been fascinated about
you should share the link, because I don't know what the heck you're talking about.
Casa de Papel.
Okay, I'll definitely check that out. Before we round up, let's look at some comments about this. And I'm just positioning myself well so that I know on which platform to look. So with Netflix, I didn't particularly touch on the Netflix part one. It might be, in general, Netflix played a role in innovating the way that we watch, what's it called, series and things like that. And what I discovered, through my quick and rapid Google moves, is that they keep adding innovative prospects day by day. And I know that you can only make innovation happen through research and development. Let's see if I can find some examples. Let me see. Okay, technological innovations. We understand that. I know the on-demand thing, which is one. They're making moves through the years to expand its audience base. Okay, that's one. Through its continual researching as to which industry, because the Nollywood edition is quite recent. They moved up from mailing the content to streaming movies and TV shows in good quality. Continuing the growth prospect, Netflix has already begun its production of its own unique content. Okay. And is it true?
Yeah, the comedy,
you realize that?
Comedy specials.
Okay.
Yeah, they actually produce. Yeah, they form the production for, like Dave Chappelle signed this deal with, remember, with Netflix for his comedy specials and his when he came back for 60 million. And that is actually on Netflix. I mean, for Netflix themselves.
Yeah, they call it like Netflix special, right?
Yeah. Oh,
okay. That's a good one. Another thing is also flexibility. The biggest advantage they are given to customers that they can watch any content with convenience. Okay, the on-demand thing. Variety of options. Subscribers of Netflix are given options to have a range of movies, TV series, and documentaries by distribution partners. This opens new options on a regular basis, attracting millions of customers. Because obviously, if you track down people's choices, you get an idea of, what else is there. Strategy of original content. As per the source of Variety, Netflix is planned to spend around $15 billion on the content in which started last year, under which around 85 of new spending is reserved for original content, and this shows the amount of over 12 billion. That's a lot. And ad-free content. Okay, no advertisement. I remember being young, I always got annoyed when advertisement came up. And it was even worse when I would travel to family in US. The Americans suffer with advertisement. One half an hour show would have probably advertisement every 5 minutes. That's cruelty. Seriously. Man. People get irritated with ads coming in between their favorite program times. So on Netflix, you don't have that. Enhanced user experience. Netflix does all research to come up with the best user experience. The foremost aspect is customer created preview videos. Okay. This preview plays on scrolling through a little title card. Yeah, I also love that, to have an idea of, is that interesting? Recommendation engine. They know what we watch. So basically, to conclude, they have, with all those factors, Netflix is marked as successful as it prioritizes subscribers' needs. And the regular transformation is bringing innovation and creating ease for all its subscribers. So probably what you were looking for, is it TV shows that they're focusing on now, is then their own content.
Okay, so now it's their own content.
Yeah, that sticks out according to this particular read.
Yeah,
so that's
I can see that. I've already
yeah.
Man, that's interesting.
That's good. That's tech talk, man. I love that talk. Anyway, I just really want to give a shout out to our Facebook listeners. I'm so sorry, guys, that I didn't pay attention to Facebook. I thought we were completely banned.
Yes.
But we happen to still, stream on there. Mensa Gary, shout out to you, saying nice tracks. Feature me on one of your songs and we can both make a hit song. Okay, Donny will produce it. Okay, Gary. And also he asked, what is it about T-Babs? I always hear his name on Sundays. That's funny. GH Kings, who is saying, I'm sure Ghana will go on lockdown by all means in a short time.
Oh,
okay.
What's going on there?
I thought Ghana was doing good. Also, shout out to Mena Ama, who is watching live from Kumasi. Donny, I love how you speak your English. Did you went to the same school with DJ Slim Heavy Anna? And also a shout out to Mami Abna, who says your playlist is 1 in a million a miss. Thank you for the love. All right, we've spent so much time talking, man. The 2 hours is still not enough, but it's good. I am glad that, before this year started, we decided to also focus more on our talks.
Yes.
For that. So I am still for that.
Me too.
Definitely. Oh man, we've reached the end of Africa on Focus, live with myself and Donny, highlighting, matters rising from Africa. And also a last shout out to Core Hospitality Ghana. Core Hospitality Ghana is recruiting. They are hiring. They are looking to expand. Do you have what it takes to join Ghana's thriving hospitality team? Then you should contact them. Core Hospitality is a hospitality company with a focus on concierge, recruitment, and consulting, and being the preferred recruiter for various hotels, restaurants, and bars in Accra. They are recruiting so that by the time that restaurants and all of that start hiring, they can hire you. So in case you are looking for this, you are looking to sign up, send your CV and motivation letter stating which position you are interested in. Also, let them know other position that you will be open to. Send them an email to info@corehospitalitygh.com. For any other questions, do contact them through WhatsApp or call them on +233 54 247 3670. I repeat, +233 54 247 3670. Make sure that you get in touch. Donny, what are your plans for this week?
Enjoy the sun.
Okay. Yeah, the sun is out. I was almost going to say, which sun?
I think enjoying the sun a bit.
Right.
Be out.
Okay. All right.
And you?
Sounds good. I have some work to do. Sorry?
Concert rehearsals? Music, artists?
That would be the week after. Rehearsals, obviously, and doing that, staying creative, and working on my guitar techniques.
Okay.
So definitely that, but I'm looking forward to a fruitful week. Absolutely. Next week you will catch us live again on Africa on Focus, here, same place, same time, on HiRadio, the voice of the next generation. In case you missed any of our episodes, you can find us on all streaming platforms: Spotify, Apple Music. You can catch our conversations, talking and interacting with Africa's most impactful people. Find us there, subscribe and follow us. Every week we will share any of the conversations that we've had with so many special guests that we've had here on the show and have yet to welcome more. Stay blessed, stay safe. Remember, COVID is really, really real. And yes, I think we should let's see which song we should end of with. I'm looking. We need a good song.
We need a banger.
We need a banger, absolutely. Okay, here is one coming from Netherlands-based Ghanaian artist who recently released her song called Pepele. This will definitely give you some pepper. I don't know what the song is about yet, but it will definitely give you some good vibes. Let's get into it, and we'll see you next week.
Let me give you a carpet walk. I'm the head, put a crown on top. Bet she can't handle this thing, cause when Baba the blessings begin, it be too much. Try to make the lights on my shine, say it's too much. Charlie, original thing, gonna cry, tell me who is like me. No one, if you want it, go get it. Move like a blizzard, smart with the move. Come for the ticket, don't force it, stretch it, work it, inside, call. Sell with power, rapid fire. But you know go succeed with greed, so please. Kone boko, kone hey, go shot it. Go shot it. Go shot it. Go shot it. Monty and Medanka. Miss Lomo too much. You just do you, let me do me. Original things, 90s baby.